Hello and welcome here. My name is Sherry. I am a minimalist and a huge advocate for slow and intentional living. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about my plans for a no-buy year in 2025. I'm really excited for this. I have done no-buy months and no-buy weeks before that have been successful, but a no-buy year is a whole different monster. So today I am going to go through what a no-buy year is in case you're not familiar, and then talk about things that I am allowing myself to buy and not allowing myself to buy. And then at the end, I'm going to give you guys a couple of tips to make it a little bit easier and to make sure that you're successful. So let's get into it. Okay, so if you're not familiar with what a no buy or a no spend challenge is, it is exactly what it sounds like. It is where you set up parameters on what you can and cannot spend money on for a set period of time. Some people do these for a weekend, some people will do these for a month. I mean, you can really do it as long as you want to. I have done no spend months and weeks before, so I feel like I'm ready to tackle a big no buy year challenge. But no buys or no spends are a great way to reset your spending, to learn how to be more content with what you already have. It can help you reach major financial goals because that is extra money that you're not spending that you can put towards debt or savings or investing. So there are a plethora of different benefits that you can reap from doing a no spend, and I would challenge you to at least give a no spend a try if you haven't already. First up, we're going to talk about things that I am going to allow myself to buy on this no spend. As much as I would just love to not spend any money for 12 months and save it all, obviously that is not reality. So of course, things like paying our regular bills and going to the grocery store, putting gas in our car, those are all things that I'm going to be allowed to spend money on. But delving a little bit deeper, other things that I'm allowing myself to spend money on are things like home essentials, so toilet paper, paper towels, dishwasher detergent, hand soap, laundry detergent. I'm also going to allow myself to buy OxiClean because we have 2 dogs, we have 2 boys, and I find that often there are stains and odors and things that I just can't get out otherwise, so I am going to allow myself to buy OxiClean. Speaking of pets, for our 2 dogs, the only thing that we will be buying our dogs next year is dog food. Now I am going to allow us to buy them toys if and only when they destroy the ones that they have currently. Otherwise, dog food is the only thing that we will be buying them. Of course, if they have like a veterinary appointment or something like that, we will be allowed to pay for that as well. Okay, so I am, like I said earlier, going to allow myself to buy food at the grocery store and go to the grocery store, but I have a huge caveat with this because I am, and let me know in the comments below if this is something that you struggle with too, impulse purchases at the grocery store. Guys, I am terrible. I'm terrible with this. I will go in with a list and I don't even know why I make a list because it all goes out the window anyway. I forget half the things that are on the list. I put things into the cart that are not on the list. It's a hot mess. So I am going to not allow myself any type of impulse purchase while I'm at the grocery store, but I do want to also challenge myself to do only grocery pickup instead of going into the store to shop. I've done this before in no-buy challenges that I've done previously, and it works wonders. It pretty much eliminates entirely having to deal with impulse purchases. I will be making that a rule for my grocery trips. The next category of things that I can allow myself to buy are just basic toiletries. So shampoo, body soap, lotion, razors. The only makeup that I'm allowing myself to buy is mascara. That's really the only makeup that I wear anyway. And then sunscreen, we'll need that in the summer. Next up, I am going to allow myself to buy gifts, but only for other people and only on events like birthdays and Christmas. I'm also going to allow myself 2 haircuts for the year, which is pretty generous because I never go get my hair cut. I don't know if you can tell on camera how bad my split ends are, but not great at going to the salon. just never really been my thing, but I do want to make sure that I allow myself 2 haircut appointments next year just in case. And then the last thing that I am going to allow myself to buy is a little bit of a luxury, certainly not an essential, but it is something that adds so much joy and coziness that I refuse to cut it out, and that is tapered candles. I love to burn unscented tapered candles. I just love the vibe and the coziness that they add to the room. So regardless what else I cut out, tapered candles will always be on my allowed list. So I feel like most of what is on my allowed list are things that I buy anyway, just as a functioning human in the world. But now I want to move on to things that I am not allowed to buy. The biggest area where I struggle is with impulsive purchases. So any type of impulsive purchases are obviously going to be off limits, but I do want to specifically list out some things that I know I tend to get suckered into that under no circumstances in 2025 will I allow myself to buy. And first up on that list is clothing. The only exception for clothing is if I have a pair of jeans that wear out, I am allowed to replace that one pair of jeans. I only own 3 pairs of jeans. One of them I wear only to work anyways, so I only have 2 pairs of casual jeans. So if my pair that I wear to work wear out, I am allowed to replace those. Very similar in that category is shoes. I am very minimalist with my wardrobe. I have a couple of pairs of Birkenstocks and a pair of Nike sneakers. My Nikes, I think, will probably have to be replaced in the next couple of months, so I am hanging on to them as long as I can, and only if and when they are completely worn out where I can't wear them will I be allowed to replace them. Otherwise, under no circumstance can I buy shoes. Next up is household decor or household goods. I really don't think that this is going to be a struggle of mine, but I want to clarify that in this category is like home projects. So I'm not allowing myself to do any home renovating. We're not painting walls. We're not putting up wallpaper. We're not doing like any home type stuff during 2025. We do have one major repair that needs to be done. Our upstairs shower does not work. So part of doing the snow spend is so that we can save up the cash that we need to have the upstairs shower replaced. So no other home renovations will be done during this no spend. Next up, and this is going to be a hard one, but I'm going to have to stick to it, and that is trips. So this year, I was very fortunate to be able to go see Joshua Tree National Park out in California. I also went to Colorado a few times, and it was lovely. Loved every minute of it. I love to travel and see new places, so this is going to be a tough one for me, but it's also one of the biggest expenses that I can cut out. So I will not be taking any solo trips at all. The only exception to the trips rule is that we do take our kids to Legoland in Florida every February for their birthdays, so we will still be doing that. And we also take a big family vacation with all of our family to the beach during the summer, so we will also be allowed to take that trip. But otherwise, trips are completely off the board for 2025. I talked about this one a little bit earlier, but dog toys. I am kind of a sucker for buying dog toys, and so in 2025, the only time that I will be allowed to buy dog toys is if my dogs completely destroy the ones that they already have. They have plenty of dog toys. They certainly don't need any more, so dog toys is on my no-buy list for 2025. Next up are any type of specialty cleaners. So I'm not going to be buying things like bleach or the Miss Myers cleaner, which I am a big sucker for. I can clean anything and everything with vinegar. If I want it to smell a little bit better, then I can always throw some essential oil in there, which I already have on hand. I also have a window cleaner that I really love, as well as an all-purpose general household cleaner concentrate that is from doTERRA that I can use, and I have plenty to get me through a year, so I'm gonna use that up. This next one is going to be hard. This is probably going to be one of the harder ones for me, I think, because for me, the way things smell and sense is just such a big thing for me. I don't know if that's just me, if that's you too, comment below and let me know, but the wall plugs from Bath and Body Works. I am such a sucker for these things, especially when they go on sale and they're like $2.75 for the refill. I have actually quite a few on hand already, so I am just going to use those up and we're gonna go a whole year without buying them. They are crazy expensive. Every time I go into Bath and Body Works, I go in with the best intentions to only buy what's on the list. Same thing like the grocery store. All of the impulsivity just floods into me and I leave spending 2 or 3 times what I initially planned. So Bath and Body Works, the wall plugs, any of that home scented stuff, candles as well, except for my tapered candles, those are going to be off the list for 2025. Along those same lines with the wall plugs are the Downy In Wash scent beads. Again, I love when things smell good. It is a thing for me. And the Downy In Wash scent beads, I love the way it makes my laundry smell. Unfortunately, they are very, very expensive and completely unnecessary, not good for our health. The list goes on, but they will be off the list for 2025. And then the last thing I'm not allowing myself to buy in 2025 are books. I'm not a big book purchaser anyway, because I find that our library and then the little free libraries that we have around keeps my book reading list very full. But there are several books that I was planning on buying. Those are going to go on the buy in 2026 list because I don't need them. And I'm sure that, again, between my library and the little free libraries that we have around town, I can keep myself perfectly happy with free books that don't cost me a dime. Okay, so those are my go ahead and no-go lists, things that I can buy, things that I can't buy, but I thought it was important to add a category here of things that I can buy if they break. I already kind of talked about this with the shoes and the jeans, but I'm thinking more like major household stuff. 2 weeks ago, our dryer went out on us, and thankfully we had savings, so we could just go ahead and pay to have a new one delivered. But I want to be very, very realistic with this no buy, again, because it's such a long period of time. I want to do everything that I can to make it successful. There are things around my house, specifically our vacuum cleaner, that I have a feeling are going to go out in the next 12 months. If they do, I will be allowed to replace them. Again, the vacuum cleaner, if it breaks, I can replace that. And then kitchen utensils. We have to replace a cutting board or things like that, like very utilitarian things. If they break, I will be allowed to replace them. But I will not be buying new things. I won't be trying things out. None of that. If something that we already have breaks, I can replace it. So those are my lists, and those are my ground rules for my no buy in 2025. But I also wanted to talk very quickly about helpful tips if you would like to embark on a no spend challenge, even if it's just for a weekend to kind of feel it out and see how it goes. Again, I can't recommend no buys enough. They're a great way to reset your spending habits, to lean into being content. There are so many things that you can do with the money that you will save, not buying stuff that you didn't need anyway. So you can add money to your savings account, you can get stuff paid off, you can invest, you can save up for a trip. So many awesome things that you can do. Here are a few tips that you can use to help make your no spend successful. The first tip that I want to go over is keeping a list of things that you want instead of buying them. So when you go into the store and you have that impulsive need to buy something, instead of adding it to your cart, put it on a list on your phone or a journal or somewhere. And I find that when we do something with that impulsive want, even if it's just writing it down, it helps trick our brains into thinking that we bought that thing and sort of checks off that dopamine hit that your brain is looking for. So keeping a list of things that you want instead of buying them is a great way to not spend money. The second thing is to remember it's only a year. I know that when you're in the thick of it, a year seems like a long time, but in the grand scheme of things, a year is really not that long. There is so much that you can accomplish in that 1 year. So just keep that at the forefront of your mind. It's only a year and you can do this. The third tip is to get your friends or your family to join in and do a no spend with you. It is a lot more fun and a lot easier when you have other people that are doing the same thing with you. And then last but not least is to either seriously limit or stay off social media altogether. We have so much access to watch and see what everybody else has going on in their lives that it is easier than ever for the FOMO and all of that to creep in. So as much as you can limit your access to what other people have going on, the better off you're going to be, because that's less influence that you're going to have to buy things, to do things, and to participate in things that everybody else has going on instead of focusing on what you have going on and your personal goals. So that's it. That is a wrap. That's my plan for a 2025 no buy. I hope that you will join in with me. If you would like to join in, be sure to comment down below. I plan on doing updated videos every single month, during the month and at the end of the month, letting you guys know how the month is going every month, and then also at the end to let you know how things went throughout the month. So really excited for this series. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.